Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Honeyett just giving you an overview of the Occupational Wellness Choice Board that you have before you. So, what's going to happen is there are 4 assignments in there. You just have to do two. Just do two. If you want to do four, if you want to do three, I'll give you a little extra credit on top of it for that. If you want to do more than one, but at this point, you just have to do two to earn the full credit. So, you have four, you get to pick two of them. Your first assignment is a career map, which is basically drawing or using your computer to create the graphics, whatever, but you're going to draw a map showing your progress towards the career that you hope to achieve. So your map has to include side roads that you can take in order to achieve your career, things like a part-time job, life events, etc. But overall, your map has to include a starting point, which obviously would be Northwestern, the classes you're taking at Northwestern, um, life after high school? Are you going into the military, college, workforce? And then also including people who will help you along the way. So you want to have them. And then include any activities, part time jobs, or involvement you plan to have. And then your destination, your ideal dream job. So, for example, if your ideal dream job is to be, a shoe designer at Nike, so your starting point may be Northwestern. And then if you're a shoe designer at Nike, you may be taking some fashion classes here. Maybe you're taking some design classes at ATC. So you want to list those out and have little graphics for those. And then maybe after high school. So maybe you end up going to a fashion design school in New York. So that's going to be your next plan. And then while you're up there, maybe you have a friend of yours who's wanting to room with you, so they'll be included. Or maybe you've got your parent who's going to help fund this a little bit. So, you want to include pictures of them to help you along the way and how, and then include anything that you're planning to do to get involved. So maybe you want to have, um, maybe you want to have a part-time job working at Foot Locker while you're up there in New York, or maybe you currently have a part-time job to save up money so you can go to New York. So what you were doing is drawing this little map, and like I said, this can be hand drawn with labels, and it's basically a road map showing what you are doing. And the rubric is included in Canvas. I just did not include it here, but the rubric is in Canvas. So that's the thing, and you can submit the photos. You can take a picture of your map, send it to me, or you can, if you do it on the computer, you can, submit it that way. That's assignment number. Assignment number two, arguably the hardest one to do out of the bunch. But for this assignment, you're going to use Animaker Animated Studio, so animaker.com, and you're going to basically research a career of your choice. So you'll create the free account on Animaker and use the template. And then once you go through, this is like little PowerPoint templates. You can insert people, like moving people and things like that. And as you go through, what it does is it creates a little video. But in order to do this, you have to build everything and then research the information listed. So, what you need to have in order to earn full credit for your Animaker is your title screen, your job introduction, so just a short snippet paragraph about what this job is, the education required, 5 responsibilities. So, what does this job require you to do? The median pay, and the job outlook. So, for example, how much does the average person, in the middle of the road, how much do they typically make? And then, is there a big outlook for this job? Is there going to be demand for this job in the future? Once again, 3 to 5 dangers or risk of the job. So that could be anything from, like, if you're a police officer, that would be something like, you risk your life every day. What could happen? Or, for example, with a doctor, one of the biggest risks of being a doctor is getting sued for malpractice. So you can list that as one of the risks, but 3 to 5 dangers or risk for the job, and then list any characteristics of people who may have this job. So if you are a person that likes working with people, maybe you want to be a social worker. If you're a person that likes designing things, you might want to consider being an architect. So what you're doing is you're listing characteristics of the people who may be interested in this job. And then finally, you have the ending slide, which, is just like a wrap up 5 points, like, yay, thank you for watching my video. And then having sources. This can be website URLs of where you found information about your job. And then the assignment is neat and free of spelling errors. I will only take off 5 points. So if you have 10 words misspelled, I will only count for the 5 of them and take off 5 points. I will not be taking off a point for every word that's spelled. So I only take off up to 5 points. So assignment 3 is job value. So we have this article here. So you guys will read this article and you're going to create a chart that lists the following: the name of the value. So there's 10 values. The definition of the value, which you guys should be able to figure out. And if you can't figure it out through the article, then you can at least do a little Google search. And then how well do you exhibit this value? So you think about this value and think to yourself, is this a value I'm excellent at doing? Am I good with this value, or is this something I can improve in? And then an explanation of your ranking. So why did you give yourself the value, or why did you give yourself the ranking of excellent? Why did you give yourself the ranking of good? Why did you give yourself the one of needing improvement? And then, also explain, like, if you want, explain why you need improvement, or why, or how you can take it to the next level. So how you can go from good to excellent. Very simple. I'm not looking for whole paragraphs here. And then I said, once you finish the chart answering the following question for the final 10 points, why should somebody hire you? And I'm looking for 5 to 7 sentences. So based off these values, based off what you know about yourself, why should somebody hire you? And then thinking about those values that you have, values that you can improve on, and explain, if you were to go into a job right now, why would somebody hire you? And the final one, which I find to be the most interesting, and I really encourage you guys to do, is finding your ikigai. So ikigai is a Japanese concept that translates into a reason for being. In this assignment, you will find your ikigai. So there is a video that walks you through the process of quote unquote finding your ikigai, and it involves making a little chart with little coordinates and things of that nature. And so you are going to submit this chart as completion, and I would highly advise you to like draw it out on paper or something like that. So it'll involve like 4 corners. So you need to have 4 corners of the chart with labels, at least 5 labeled elements for each section. So for example, for each section, you want to have 5 little labeled elements. So if it says like something you're good at, list 5 things you're good at. If it says something that more of what the world needs, 5 things that you feel that the world needs more of. So you need to have at least 5 labeled sections. Um, you also need to have a graphic for each element. So this is like a picture. So it doesn't have to be like insanely detailed or anything like that. And if you do it on the computer, by all means, you can grab the pictures off the internet. It's totally fine. Make sure they are appropriate. And then finally, just a simple statement. It can be a sentence or two about what you think your ikigai is. What is your reason for being? What job or career path do you think you should take based off finding your ikigai? So this is a very interesting concept. It's one that I think a lot of people can learn from, and really puts the idea of finding your purpose and occupational wellness in a different context than us always taking like career assessments or things of that nature. So those are the choices you have. Like I said, you only have to pick 2. Each of these totals out to be 50 points each. So out of 100 points. So you can get 50 on one and 40 on the other and still get a 90. You can get 50 on both and get a 100. You can do one and not do any and get a 50. So, it's just making sure that you pick 2, submit it all, and get it turned in. So you have 2 days to do this. So you have today in class or at home, and then tomorrow in class or at home, we'll be wrapping it up. But that concludes for the assignment. Just giving you that overview and making sure that you have an idea of what to do. So good luck and good work.